I'm Emma Wilson, and at 24, I never anticipated that my college graduation would become such a powerful moment of triumph. Standing shoulder to shoulder with my sister Lily, both of us adorned in matching caps and gowns, should have been a moment of unbridled joy. Yet years of unequal treatment had built up to this defining day. The sting of my parents' words still echoed in my mind. She was worth it. But you weren't. The memory of that night when they decided to fund only my sister's future still sears my heart. Before I reveal what left my parents ashen-faced at our graduation, drop a comment below to share where you're reading from, and hit the like button if you've ever had to fight twice as hard for something handed easily to others. I was raised in a quintessential middle-class family in suburban Michigan. Our charming two-story home, framed by a white picket fence, seemed picture-perfect, with family photos concealing the intricate tensions within. My parents, Robert and Diana Wilson, held stable careers, Dad as a meticulous accountant, Mom as a dedicated high school English teacher. Though we weren't wealthy, we lived comfortably enough that financial struggles shouldn't have been my burden. My sister, Lily, 2 years younger, always seemed to eclipse me in our parents' eyes. With her cascading blonde curls, effortless academic brilliance, and magnetic charm, she embodied their vision of perfection. From early childhood, the disparity was clear. Lily was the cherished star, while I lingered in her shadow. I still vividly remember Christmas mornings when Lily tore open lavish toys, while I received practical items like socks or bargain bin craft sets. "Your sister needs extra encouragement for her gifts," Mom would explain when I dared to question the imbalance. Even at 8, I sensed the injustice, but learned to swallow my disappointment. School events underscored their unequal support. For Lily's science fairs, both parents would take time off work to help her craft elaborate presentations. For my art shows, I was lucky if Mom stopped by for a brief visit during her lunch break. "Art's just a pastime, Emma. It won't lead anywhere," Dad would remark dismissively. My grandmother, Eleanor, was the only one who truly saw me. During summer visits to her lake house, she'd spend hours with me as I sketched the scenery. "You see the world uniquely, Emma," she'd say. "Don't let anyone dim your spark." Those summers became my refuge. In her cozy library, I found books about entrepreneurs and leaders who overcame adversity, igniting dreams of proving my worth in ways my parents couldn't overlook. By high school, resilience became my armor. I joined every business-related club, excelled in math and economics, and discovered a talent that surprised even my most encouraging teachers. As a sophomore, I won a regional business plan competition, and my economics teacher, Mr. Rivera, called my parents to praise my work. "That's nice," Mom said after hanging up. "Did you help Lily with her history project? It's due tomorrow." In my junior year, I worked part-time at a coffee shop to save money, sensing I'd need to rely on myself. Despite 20-hour work weeks, I maintained a 4.0 GPA. Meanwhile, Lily joined the debate team, instantly becoming its star, with our parents attending every event and celebrating her wins with lavish dinners. By senior year, Lily and I, despite our 2-year age gap, were in the same graduating class after she skipped a grade. We both applied to Westfield University, renowned for its business and political science programs. Against all odds, we received our acceptance letters on the same day. I was thrilled, hands shaking as I opened the envelope. "I got in," I announced at dinner, brimming with pride. "Full acceptance to the business program." Dad barely looked up from his phone. "That's nice, Emma." Moments later, Lily burst in, waving her acceptance to the political science program. Instantly, our parents sprang to life. Dad leapt from his chair, Mom rushed to hug her, and dinner turned into a celebration with champagne and sparkling cider. "We always knew you could do it," Mom said to Lily, as if my identical achievement hadn't just been announced. 2 weeks later, a family dinner changed everything. "We need to talk about college plans," Dad said, his gaze fixed on Lily. "We've saved for your education since you were born. Westfield's tuition is high, but we'll cover it so you can focus on your studies." Lily glowed with pride while I waited, assuming they'd saved for me too. The silence grew heavy until I asked, "What about my tuition?" The air seemed to chill as my parents exchanged uneasy glances. "Emma," said Dad slowly, "we only have enough for one of you. Lily has always shown greater academic promise. We think investing in her will bring better results." Mom patted my hand, likely thinking it was comforting. "You've always been independent. You can take out loans or start at a community college." Their words seared into me. She deserved it, but you didn't. Years of subtle rejections hadn't prepared me for this outright dismissal of my value. That night, the fragile ties holding our family together and my sense of self shattered. Locked in my room, I let the tears I'd held back flow freely. The unfairness overwhelmed me. 17 years of striving for my parents' approval only to be rejected. My perfect GPA, competition wins, and Westfield acceptance meant nothing to them. I'd never been enough. The next morning, exhausted and red-eyed, I confronted them in the kitchen. "How could you save for Lily's college but not mine?" I asked, my voice cracking. Mom sighed, stirring her coffee. "It's not that simple, Emma. We had to prioritize with limited funds." "But my grades are better than Lily's," I argued. "I've worked part-time for 2 years while keeping a 4.0. Isn't that dedication?" Dad snapped his newspaper shut. "Lily's always been focused on academics. You're distracted by your job and activities. Her career path is clear. Your business ideas are risky." "You never even asked about my plans," I whispered. Mom cut in. "We'll help with loan applications. Many students pay their own way." The conversation ended. They'd made their choice. I was less worthy in their eyes. That weekend, I drove 2 hours to Grandma Eleanor's, seeking the only true support I knew. As I shared my pain, she listened, her hands holding mine tightly. "My dear, life's hardest moments can spark the greatest change. Your parents are wrong about you, profoundly so. But you have something they don't see: unshakable resolve." Though she couldn't offer financial help, her belief in me was priceless. "Promise me you'll go to Westfield," she urged. "Don't let their limits define you." That night, I resolved to attend Westfield, fund my education, and graduate despite the odds. The next day, I dove into researching scholarships, grants, work-study programs, and loans. For weeks, I filled out applications with help from my guidance counselor, Mrs. Chen, who stayed late to guide me. She said, "I've rarely seen such determination," as we submitted my 25th application. I secured several small scholarships, but they didn't cover Westfield's hefty tuition. With federal and private loans co-signed by Grandma Eleanor, I scraped together enough for my first year. Housing was next. While Lily lived in costly campus dorms funded by our parents, I found a small apartment 45 minutes away with 3 roommates from a university forum. I applied for every job near campus, landing a coffee shop position near my classes and weekend shifts at a bookstore. The contrast was stark. My parents shopped with Lily for new clothes and a laptop, hired movers, and threw her a grand send-off party. I packed my things in used suitcases and scavenged boxes. The night before I left, Mom offered me old sheets for my bed, the only nod to my college journey. On move-in day, they drove Lily to campus in the family SUV, while I trailed in my old Honda, which rattled worryingly. No one checked my car for the 2-hour drive. At the campus entrance, they headed to Lily's fancy dorm, while I drove alone to my apartment. "Good luck, Emma," Mom called. "I hope it works out." Her doubt only fueled my determination to succeed spectacularly. My new apartment was a shock. Peeling paint, faulty plumbing, and unfamiliar roommates. That first night, alone on a thin mattress with traffic and arguments seeping through the walls, the weight of my undertaking hit me. Could I manage 30 hours of work weekly with a full course load? Would financial stress ruin my grades? As despair loomed, my phone pinged with a text from Grandma Eleanor. "Diamonds form under pressure, my brave girl. You're already shining." Wiping my tears, I crafted a rigorous schedule, sacrificing sleep and social life to prioritize my education. The financial aid office became my lifeline. Miss Winters, the assistant director, took an interest in my story. "You're tackling a huge challenge," she said, "but I've seen students like you succeed. Promise you'll come to me if it gets too much." That promise sustained me. The day before classes, Mrs. Chen called with news. The high school business department had pooled $1,000 for a scholarship for me. "It's not much," she said, "but the teachers believe in you." That kindness bolstered my courage. Adding the funds to my budget, my resolve solidified. Freshman year was a whirlwind. While others adjusted to college life, I juggled 30-hour work weeks with demanding business courses. My days began at 5 a.m. with study sessions, followed by coffee shop shifts, classes, and bookstore work until midnight. Sleep was scarce. I studied on buses, did assignments during breaks, and listened to recorded lectures while cleaning coffee machines. Every minute was accounted for, every dollar stretched. Lily's life, glimpsed through texts and social media, was carefree. Sorority events, study abroad plans, and home-cooked meals. I, meanwhile, debated between textbooks and groceries. Yet something remarkable happened. I thrived in my business classes. My real-world budgeting experience gave me an edge. While classmates struggled with accounting, I applied those concepts to my life. Professor Bennett, my business ethics teacher, praised my case study analysis. "Your insights on resource allocation and family dynamics are mature," she boosted my confidence. My struggles became academic strengths. Then, my roommate Zoe changed everything. Noticing my grueling routine, she left meals labeled with my name in our fridge. One night, exhausted, I found her waiting with tea. "You'll burn out before midterms," she warned. When I shared my story, she was outraged. "That's unfair. I'm your college family now." Zoe edited my papers, made flashcards, and guarded my study time, insisting on cooking for us both. "Family looks out for each other," she said. "Sometimes the family we choose matters more." Midway through sophomore year, a crisis hit. The coffee shop cut my hours by 40%, collapsing my budget. With rent and tuition looming, I panicked, but turned to Miss Winters. She secured an emergency grant and a research assistant role with Professor Bennett, which paid better and suited my schedule. Working on her study about small business resilience, I found intellectual fulfillment. "Have you considered entrepreneurship?" she asked, noting my innovative perspective. That sparked an idea. Using my marketing and media skills, I launched a virtual assistant platform for local businesses, building a website at night. By junior year, it generated enough income to quit the bookstore, and with my research stipend and loans, I achieved fragile stability. My confidence grew. In classes, I shared real-world insights, earning professors' notice and classmates' respect. The once invisible girl became a department voice. Lily and I remained distant. I declined her invitations to campus events due to work. Our parents called her weekly, but contacted me only for holidays. One Thanksgiving, unable to afford the trip home, I got a text from Mom. "We miss you, but we know you're busy." Their dismissal didn't surprise me, but my achievements, Dean's List, awards, conference presentations, were undeniable. By junior year's end, my virtual assistant service became a digital marketing agency serving statewide clients. I hired 2 students, applying classroom theory to real growth. The business covered expenses and allowed early loan repayments. Professor Bennett nominated me for an entrepreneurial scholarship, covering my senior year tuition. "Your story is what this university stands for," she said. Financial pressure eased, and my future began to take shape. Senior year brought unstoppable momentum. My agency served 15 clients, employed 4 students, and was featured in a local magazine, boosting my reputation. I ranked among the business school's top students. Professor Bennett suggested the National Collegiate Business Innovation Competition with a $50,000 prize and national exposure. With her guidance, I refined my pitch and reached the final round in April. Meanwhile, Lily struggled with her thesis seminar, her reliance on talent and parental support faltering. One evening, she appeared at my door, teary and desperate. "I'm failing my thesis seminar," she admitted. Despite mixed feelings, I invited her in. Helping her, I realized my self-discipline gave me skills she lacked. Our study sessions fostered real connection. "How do you manage everything?" she asked, stunned by my 60-hour work weeks and sacrifices. "Mom and Dad said you were fine." "Fine is relative," I replied. Lily became an ally, rejecting parental gifts to emulate my independence. In February, Dean Rodriguez invited me to deliver the graduation address, citing my journey as inspirational. I accepted, unaware of her bigger plans. In April, I won the business competition, my challenges becoming my edge. The university newspaper featured my victory, but my parents stayed silent. 2 weeks before graduation, they arrived to celebrate Lily, inviting me to their party as an afterthought. Grandma Eleanor gave me a stole embroidered with "Diamonds are made under pressure." At rehearsal, Dean Rodriguez hinted at surprises for my speech. At the family dinner, my parents focused on Lily until Uncle Jack asked about me. Dad's dismissive "side projects" comment prompted Grandma's sharp rebuke. Graduation day was electric. Lily texted her pride, and Zoe drove me to campus. At the ceremony, my parents watched Lily, but Grandma's gaze was on me. After degrees were conferred, President Harlow called me to speak. My address highlighted resilience and redefining success, earning applause. Then Harlow announced I was valedictorian with a 4.0, built a 6-figure business, and won the national competition, all without family support. He revealed my job offer from Alexander Global Consulting and a magazine feature. The crowd roared. My parents' faces paled as their neglect was exposed. Harlow capped it with the Emma Wilson Resilience Scholarship, cementing my legacy. Lily and Grandma beamed. My parents were stunned. Post-ceremony, my parents' awkward congratulations rang hollow. "I've always been who I am," I said. "You didn't notice." Lily and Grandma joined my business school reception, where mentors and peers celebrated me. Jennifer Alexander welcomed me to her firm, and Dean Rodriguez offered an MBA scholarship. At the family dinner, relatives questioned my parents' favoritism, and Lily publicly acknowledged their error. I declined their offer to help with an apartment deposit, citing my $90,000 salary. With Grandma and Lily, I left for a celebration with those who truly supported me. After graduation, I moved into an apartment, my business thrived under student management, and the magazine features celebrated my journey. My parents sought reconciliation, admitting their favoritism. I agreed to rebuild, but on my terms. Lily's nonprofit job reflected her new empathy. Grandma gave me a bracelet symbolizing inner worth. On the graduation anniversary, I founded a scholarship for students overcoming obstacles, with my parents witnessing my speech. Their pride, though meaningful, was secondary to my self-worth. Lily and I grew closer, untangling our bond from past comparisons. Forgiveness, I told her, is a process of letting go, not forgetting. My triumph wasn't proving them wrong, but realizing their limits never defined me. My value was always there, waiting for me to claim it. Have you ever been underestimated by those whose opinions seemed to shape your worth? How did you prove your value to yourself? Share below and like if my story of overcoming expectations resonates. Sometimes those who doubt you most push you to soar beyond their vision. Thank you for joining my journey. I hope it inspires you to embrace your inherent worth no matter who overlooks it.